What's up, everybody? I'm going to do a pretty fun video right here, a little bit changing it up on my normal RPG overviews. So this is Old School Essentials, and most everybody knows it. A lot of people have it. It's very popular right now. I have not picked it up. These are not my copies. These are a buddy's copies. I don't know what he ordered. I'm not exactly sure what is in both of these boxes, but we've got the Old School Essentials Classic Fantasy game set and Old School Essentials Advanced Fantasy, the Advanced expansion set. So what I'm going to be doing is, obviously I've seen the outside. I'm going to go through the Classic Fantasy one and then the Advanced Fantasy one, and I'm going to be looking at them for the first time. I have flipped through the rules tome at my local store, just very briefly, but I do not know exactly what's in these. So I'll be giving you my first impressions of them as I flip through them. So a little bit different type of video, and hopefully it'll be fun to take a look at. It might be a little bit long, but let's go ahead and get rocking. So I enjoy Labyrinth Lord. I didn't really feel like I needed to get this game, but I do know that it's very good. It's well laid out. A lot of people like it. And I'll be commenting on some of the reasons why I don't have it and what I think about it. So, of course, this is not like this is some new product, but for me, it's new to look through. And so hopefully it'll be cool to get my reaction to it. So, yep, Necrotic Gnome. I like the box set so far. The cover's great. We got Peter Mullen covers. They're very good. I think Peter Mullen overall is a big hit. I don't think there's been too many times where I didn't like his art. So I can see here that there's five deluxe hardcover books inside it. So that's cool. I've not technically looked at the back here. So let's not spoil any of that. That's a little bit backwards, but it's okay. But let's take a look inside and see what we got. Let's move this out of the way. You get going. We'll get to you later. So, all right. So I like the black inside. I'm just going to put that over to the side here. So we've got a product catalog for 2023. Very nice. I like the way that the referee screen looks. Again, Peter Mullen, a bunch of his work, and I'm a fan of his stuff. So we've got Carcass Crawler, issue number 3, the official Old School Essentials zine. So that's cool. There's another one. That's neat. So again, I don't know if this normally comes in there, if this was ordered from my buddy, but very nice. I don't want to look too much into it because it's not exactly 100% what these box sets are. So we'll just give it a little quick look through. I do like the green. I think that's nice to spotlight that. Some nice map there I saw. So here we go. So the first book we've got is the characters. So that is not a Peter Mullen cover, but it looks good. I enjoy that. That looks nice. And let's just take a look through here. So it's got 7 character classes, I guess. So let's take a look. So yep, of course I enjoy having these tables on the end papers. Looks very good. The green really helps it stand out. It's got definitely a sharp look. I like the font. It's very nice. And of course, this is going to be very reminiscent of me playing Labyrinth Lord. So I'm looking at the, let's look at the art here. David Hoskins did the cover. I'm just looking for some of the interior art, some people that I might know. Of course, William McAustin, I know him very well. Bradley McDevitt, Peter Mullen, Stephen Pogue. Yeah, some very good James Shields, of course. And then inspirations. It's very good. I'm glad that Dave Cook is in there as an inspiration. So that's very neat. So, yep, I could definitely tell that piece of art right there. It's definitely got that look to it that we know. And yeah, so far it looks good. I like the page number down here highlighted in green. That's good. I mean, the green color is fantastic with it. We've got house rules here. If you're new to role-playing, of course, classic fantasy gaming. I like this. It kind of breaks it down between wilderness and dungeons. So far, it looks excellent. And I can definitely see how this has got a better layout, more easily accessible than Labyrinth Lord. It's got your terminology, compatibility. I like how it's got that. That's very nice to have that so that you can mix and match it with other games, basic and expert games, other OSR games. Very cool. And so we've got the beginning here of the player characters. The ability scores, race, all that stuff we know, hit dice, everything looks good. It's got ascending armor class as an optional rule. Of course, I don't have any problem with the ascending armor class, but of course, to make this more modern friendly game, it's got ascending armor class. So very neat. And again, this video might be completely redundant to a lot of people who already know this game, but I thought it'd be cool just to go through it. So I do enjoy, too, the classic set. Like, if I want to play a game like this, and I'm certain that the Advance is going to have some great stuff in it, too. But for me, a lot of this right here is exactly what I would probably use, is this one is starting out. So I like the way that it's got all your modifiers there for your different ability scores on this table. It's very sharp. I mean, the layout is great. Just its design is fantastic. I like this other languages here. Great art. Now, that piece of art is awesome. Pretty big sword. I don't know if I thought about maybe giving like grades or like, you know, rating of the art. I would give that probably like a 7 maybe. It's pretty good. Let's continue here. I'm not going to go all the way through it. So we've got our cleric. They do not get spells at level 1, so that makes sense with what it's trying to do. It's got demi-human class of the dwarf. And again, very much like kind of the basic Labyrinth Lord book. Good piece of art there. And yeah, I mean, it really just coming down. Of course, that's a great piece right there. Obviously, an homage to some other great art that you may know. I mean, really the fonts and the way it's laid out is really, of course, going to be the highlight of this book. I'm not so sure about what exactly is different between this and like a game like Labyrinth Lord. When it comes to the actual rules, they seem to be pretty set. Of course, it does have THAC0 and, you know, rules to hit bonuses, of course. The magic user, great art. I mean, so far the art is awesome. Seems to be a good amount of it too. Thief skills, they're going to work on, each one's going to be a little bit, oh, it looks like it's going to be, like hear noise is going to be on a D6, so pretty normal percentile for other skills. I like that a lot. I prefer second editions thieves with you able to add percentages to the certain skills that you like. So we've got experience, level titles, that's cool, high level play, and then of course the character attack matrix. Those are always good, especially obviously if you're using descending armor class. Another great Peter Mullen piece right here. Like I said, so far, I mean, the art is great. I'm really enjoying that. I can see why everybody is enamored by it, and you know, again, I'm thinking it's, you know, it's just how well it's laid out. Cool piece of art there. I like how it's in color, very nice, and of course, splash across two pages, very good. Rules for vehicles, that's good. Damaging vehicles, oh, very nice. Boarding, obviously the kind of the water vessel section. Animals of burden, I like this. It's got their actual stats. And I'm not looking at this from how this is compared to like BX or anything like that. Just what I see and, you know, what my reaction is to it. And like a lot of this stuff, if it's already in basic, then that's fine and good. I'm just reacting to it straight off. So the water vessels. So big section there. That's good. Oh, that's an excellent piece of art. I really like that. I wish they would show who did the piece of art. You know, sometimes you can obviously see their signature, but sometimes they don't. That always kind of irritates me because I want to know which one of the artists drew that. Of course, great section on retainers and mercenaries. You're going to need those in this type of game. Specialists, strongholds. Of course, that's an SPB. Piece of art right there. And we haven't gotten to the combat yet because this is just the character thing. So yeah, this would be great just to hand to a player, and this is everything they kind of need for their character. Now that's another thing too is, you know, do I like, you know, like a rule book all in one, or do I like them split up like this? I mean, I see that they both have their merits. Being able to just hand this to a new player or something would be great, not to have to bog them down with other sections. But it's also nice just to have it all in one book. So let's look at the magic section. The magic book, I should say. And this can be, of course, this could be very handy. You know, I wish other games would just do just the magic section by itself. On top of it being in the normal rule book, have it separate as well, because so many people just need the magic section. So yeah, the end pages are going to have it, you know, specifically for the spellcasting. I mean, I think that's excellent. So I don't know. I mean, like I said, I've thumbed through just a little bit of the rules tome, and it looks great. I don't know which one I would rather have. Of course, knowing me, and I know a lot of people who like to collect stuff, they probably get both this and the rules tomes. So, and this is going to have a bunch of the spells. Pretty normal. Great pieces of art. So far, like I said, the art is awesome. And I haven't seen really anything that is Mullen up. And, you know, this is, to me, this is a newer piece of type of art, but it looks good. It's not too, you know, not too wacky and wild. It looks good. It's still kind of keeping it basic, I guess I should say. So I like this duration. I like the way that they've written out these spells. I like this spot art here and there. Awesome piece there. This is, of course, is in that other, I think that was the one that was in the other book. But that's fine. You're going to reuse some art or do something with it. Because this has got a bunch of it. And I'm certain with having to do all these different books, they probably fill it up. And I don't know if this is different art, maybe somebody could tell me, than what's in the rules tome books. Oh, that's decent. Look at that. I like the colors in that. Very nice. Reminds me of a Doug Kovacs type of colors. So magic user spells. Very good. First level. Obviously done by alphabetical. So far, awesome. And this is great. I mean, just having a book like this of just the spells, I can see this is where having these multiple books, this is pretty much, oh, that's a great piece. I love that. That looks absolutely awesome. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like a Doug Chaffee piece, especially the way that he's got the horns there on his helmet. Very nice. And then there's that thing, that OGL. Oh boy. And so yeah, great at the end here having all this with the page numbers. Fantastic. I mean, this book here, this is invaluable. Great cover too. So then we've got, I'm probably wrecking this box. I don't know how to get these things out. Let's just do this. And put that aside. Adventures. Cool piece of art, once again. The different colors that they have for these. Great, more in page stuff here. So ability checks. Oh yeah, this is fantastic. No, I mean this is really the be all end all, I think, of this style of you know, basic D&D right here. Looks good. Adventuring, awesome piece there. Obviously a little bit of an homage there. Looks great. I like how it's in color and it's in black and white, so it gets you a mixture of the two. So all about adventures, damage, death, healing, ability checks, saving throws. And again, I have not seen a piece of art that I do not like. I mean, I might like some more than others. That one is excellent. Again, a more modern piece. Some real ears on that elf right there. Oof. Might need to get those things pinned back a little bit. Great. Foraging, hunting, losing direction. I mean, these sections are so nice and laid out. You know, it's going to be easy to get to them and see where they are. There is going to be one thing I have a feeling I'm going to have an issue with, and I'm going to take a look and see. I think it's coming up. So evasion and pursuit, in the wilderness. Awesome piece of art right there, of course. Combat, spell casting. Okay, and this is where I'm going to have my first nitpick here. Probably my only nitpick. And this is not going to be just for this game. It's going to be for other ones too. Right here, fighting withdrawal. The combatant moves backward at up to half their encounter movement rate. There must be a clear path for this movement. So it says in melee, when in melee with a foe, only the following forms of movement are possible. So you've got the fighting withdrawal and the retreat. Now, I understand that they had to decide on what to do about the rules or clarification of rules or things that weren't so clear. But this one right here is a huge pet peeve of mine. And this one, unfortunately, does the same thing, this game, because other games have done it as well. I simply don't, I really, really get irritated with fighting withdrawal. If you go look at a lot of different OSR games, you'll see, and you can look at communities or forums or whatever, Reddit, whatever. People are like, how does fighting withdrawal work? In this version of the game, it worked like this. You got an attack. You didn't get to an attack. When did they attack? This has always been a very sticky rule for me that has absolutely irritated me. And I'm still, just by looking at this, I know that I would probably have to go look online and figure out how exactly to do a fighting withdrawal. And it just hurts me. It's one of those things that really, really, I dislike not being more clear about fighting withdrawal. Because obviously, you're going to take these rules and show them to people, and then you're going to see those comments about exactly how it works. If you see that, go ahead and make it more clear. If you need to make a decision about that or whatever. I mean, it's your own game you're making, you know, obviously based off of basic D&D, but that really irks me. I'm certain people are going to tell me down in the comments exactly how it works, but it should explain it very clearly right there. It says fighting withdrawal. If you are fighting, in my opinion, you should be able to make an attack. But it doesn't really say that. Okay, we're moving on. So we've got morale as an optional rule. Here are the combat tables with THACO and positives, some hit bonuses. And then referee's role. So this is obviously going to be the main combat section. And you're going to tell that to your players kind of how combat runs. You don't have to bog them down with that. This is a good book. Cool pieces of art. Once again, this one's excellent. I really like it. I don't know this mug. These mugs here that are like undead. Watch out for them. Designing a dungeon. That's very nice to have that. Designing a wilderness. Oh, these are excellent sections with great art. Of course, great piece of art there. And then the OGL, that dreaded thing. Encounters in combat and your attack matrices once again. And then we've got the monster books, which I've always liked monster books. Great piece of art. You can see they've got some of the same artists here doing these books on the inside. This same artist to keep it all nice and together. The monsters attack matrix. Now that's one thing too, is like, you know, do you like having all these books all over your table, or do you just like having the rules tome? Let me know down in the comments which one you prefer. Like I said, I'm certain that people they like to collect stuff, so they have them both. But like, if you're actually using these, do you hand maybe this out to somebody and you keep your rules tome? Do you have all these books and you're handing them out when you need them? Obviously, this book, and this book is going to be just for the Dungeon Master, and these two would be for characters. I would take it. So yeah, let's take a look at some of the monsters. I'm expecting some great things here with this, with these monsters and the art. So great. It's got some things about infravision, and then here we go. So yeah, very small descriptions on some of these creatures here about what they are. Obviously, you don't need to really know about some of these as much when they were talking about bats, and I expect it to get a little bit bigger. Great piece of art there. That bear took it really in the face. So yeah, very, you know, it's very small, very short sentence or two about what the creature is. I understand it's going for brevity here. Oof. Oh, I like that piece of art. That's great. Yeah, I always like giant crabs. That's probably from my Ray Harryhausen days. I've enjoying that. Great piece of art there. This is nice. I like the stat blocks. I like how they've laid out the special abilities that they have. Nice. Got a big section here on dragons, the different types. Oh, that's nice. Love it. Like I said, the art is awesome. I don't think I need to say anything more about that. You can just assume, unless I see something that really stands out weird, that all this art is fantastic. And this is a lot of creatures here. We're only in the G's. So, very nice. Yes, awesome. Gorgon looks great. Oh, that looks fantastic. Again, more of a modern type piece, but really looks great. And it's a great mix of OSR and more modern art. Ooh, that harpy looks great. This is fantastic. A lot of this reminds me a little bit of like the Fiend Folio. Hydra looks good. A little small one, but still pretty nice. Like that. That's great. I mean, everything is just, I can see where the hype is about this game. Ooh, I like stuff with mummies. I like breaking out of Western European type settings, so that is an awesome piece of art. Looks great. Got your owlbear, got your ogre. Rats look cool. I mean, this isn't mine, but boy, I might have to pick it up. Like I said, I don't know which one to get, or I should just get both. Get the box sets and get the rules tomes, because it's just so nice. But I could see as a DM how this book here by itself would be really good to have, you know. And you're putting less stress on spines, on the overall book itself by having them separate. You're not always having to open up the book if you just want to look, you know, this book over here, if you want to look for monsters. That's a great piece right there. More of a kind of a fantasy fairy tale type looking piece of art. Vampire, nice. It's got some cool abilities. Warp Beast, excellent. Just absolutely excellent. Oh, good. It's got some encounter tables. Great piece of art there. Excellent. Fantastic. Ooh, NPC encounters. Oh, I love that. That's nice. Strongholds. And then that pesky OGL. And then here we have some great lists here by hit dice. That's very helpful. And then we've got treasures. Okay, let's take a look here. Excellent. You can roll up your magical items right here on these end papers. Man, I don't know how the difference is. Obviously, this has got to be more expensive than the rules tome, but I'm not sure. But this looks like it possibly is the way to go for me. If I was to get one, if I can only pick one, this might be it. Just to have all, like I said, I don't know if this is all the same art throughout this or the rules tome. Just to have this all separated, very enjoyable. Oh, that's sweet. Gems and jewelry, excellent piece of art there. I mean, I got nothing really negative to say. And the thing that I've got negative to say about the fighting withdrawal, I mean, that's just kind of part of the OSR rule set is how you tackle that. I do like how these magical items have got what it does broken down with these kind of bullet points. That's very, very good. And I think that obviously this is setting a standard for the way that some other books need to be, future books that are made in games. You know, this is really elevating it. I mean, it's amazing. That's an interesting piece. You know, it really just doing like that green, you know, background there on the words and stuff. That's really helpful. Makes it stand out. Staff of Wizardry. Great. Some more kind of whimsical fairy tale type art. Great section here, of course. We got on swords, always fun. Sentient swords. Excellent. And then more for rolling up. So that is the classic. Let's put this back. So that is the classic game set. And that already is a lot of stuff. And I would be completely happy with that. When I'm playing a game like this, I really like kind of just keeping it kind of basic. I know it's kind of funny, but it is always nice to have some options about, you know, what you can do with your characters. Let's push that out of the way. And here we go with this one. So let's see what this one has in store. All right, so we've got the product catalog again. And I'm going to go ahead and do this. People probably scream at me for trying to grab them out of there like I did before. So here we go. So a new thing, you get the heck out of here all the way. Thank you very much. All right, actually making a shadow. So there we go. So we've got, once again, characters. I like how they kept the colors the same. That's a no-brainer. And this is going to have a whole bunch more characters, classes. Acrobat, Assassin, Bard, Barbarian, Drow, Druid, Drugar, Gnome, Half-Elf, Half-Orc, Illusionist, Night Ranger. Night Ranger's funny. Paladin, and... all right. Woo. All right, so great art once again. Again, back with the new classes. I do like this, how they kind of tell you what is different in this. And that's helpful. And then again, adaption notes for other things that might change it. And you've got the Acrobat, the Assassin, like that, who can be assassinated. That's very helpful. I mean, they just spotlighted stuff and brought it, you know, attention in its own little boxes and stuff like that. And it's just very helpful, or bullet points. Very good. I know some of my friends have been telling me, like, you've got to get Old School Essentials. Why haven't you done a video on it? And it was one of those things where I was like, you know, so many people have done videos on it. I like to spotlight stuff that's not as mainstream, even though this game is, you know, obviously it's an OSR game. It's very mainstream when it comes to OSR. It's pretty much the top dog now on the block. But whenever a lot of people have done videos about stuff, I don't feel the need really to do as much. But with this one, I said, you know what, I have the opportunity to get a hold of them. Let me take a look and do kind of a first little flip through. Great piece of art there. I like that. Of course, Half-Orcs, Illusionists, the Knight, Paladin, one of my always favorite classes to play. Ranger was my first love class. That's the class that I really went off for way back with 2nd edition D&D. And then character races, optional. So optional rules, lifting class and level restrictions. That's cool. For people who don't like that, I don't care. I don't mind having class and level restrictions for races and stuff like that. It's not a big deal to me. Because they're, you know, it's explained exactly in 2nd edition. and that's always worked for me. So here's the Drow, always a good favorite. So this is cool to have these other races, and of course to split race and class is something that a lot of people want, so I can see how they would gravitate more towards this version of the game. It doesn't really matter to me. I can play either. Interesting that all of a sudden there's just poisons there, but it's okay. Advanced rules, class abilities, limits on turning the undead, that's always good. It's always good to really make sure that people know exactly how turn undead happens. Like, what's the frequency, can you act when you're doing it, things like that. Of course, attacking with 2 weapons have always been kind of a bane in most role-playing games to figure out how that works, or multiple attacks. I know it kind of bogs down a little bit in 2nd edition D&D when you have weapon specialization and how that works. Weapon proficiency, secondary skills, very good. And then here, kind of wrapping up the different classes and how they work with their like tracking and stuff like that. Very nice. And then here we go with the magic section again. So which one do you prefer? Do you prefer playing with the classic game set, or do you like the advanced expansion set? Let me know which one you think is the better way for you and your group. So here we've got spells. I'm gonna go ahead and just do the end paper here so I can see, and that's gonna continue on with the other. Oh, those are all illusionist spells. Okay, gotcha. So we got Druid. Again, some different artists here are throughout these books. I now see Ian Bagley, of course, I know very well from Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea, from the 1st edition mainly, since he did most of that. And of course, there's one of his pieces right there. I can easily pick out which one is his. Our different spell lists for druids. I always kind of shied away from druids, but now they're definitely a cool class to play. And I think it's just as I get older, some of the classes I used to not play, I definitely do now. I used to not play clerics when I was younger, but now cleric is like my #1 class. They always have a great purpose. They're easy to role play, and you feel like you're actually helping out the group, casting spells sometimes instead of doing damage. That's a cool piece. I like how it has some of these more whimsical type of pieces of art. And it's trying to hit a lot of different broad art styles. But of course, always going back to the great black and white OSR, which I prefer. And not that there's anything wrong with colored pieces of art, of course. It's just something that I like. I like the exact mixture of this. Very much with my first D&D 2nd edition, having those pages that were full color and then having the black and white art throughout it. That's very nice. This is great. I mean, I'm really impressed. I mean, it's making waves for a reason. Cool piece of art there, up in some sort of maybe like a cosmic space there with that dragon. And the same thing, we're gonna have a lot more monsters here. I like this right here, like, you know, a note about devils and demons. I guess it says they are not included here. They will be featured in a future Old School Essential supplement devoted entirely to the fiendish denizens of other planes. Okay, cool piece of art. And here we go again. So, I mean, yeah, you're getting a ton of stuff with these 2 box sets. And I don't even know how much they cost. Like I said, my buddy just had them. He said, here you go. I want you to do videos on this. And I said, I'll finally will. Of course, I love a Drider. Very nasty creature. Eye of Terror. Eye of the Deep. We know what those are. Fury Mouthers, always a nasty creature. Gullywug is a fan favorite, of course. Ooh, that's cool. Nice piece. We'll always love a Lich, very nasty. Nice boss to go up against. Mimics. This is fantastic. Audiugs, that's what I call them. Rakshasas. Also a nasty creature. Spawn of the Worm. Tarask. I used to always read that in the 2nd edition monster manual. Be like, man, what a brute. Great piece of art there. Zorn. Encounter tables. And again, by hit dice. Very excellent. And then we've got treasures. So I guess this one doesn't have adventures in it. It's 4 books, okay? And and the other one was $5, if I'm not mistaken. You just double check. I've got some sort of weird brain fart going on. Yeah, $5, that adventure section. They broke it up for you. And then we've got treasures. So, more rolling up your different types of magic items. We'll kind of wrap this up here. Just go through it one time. Cube of Force, deck of many things, always a good favorite. Great piece of Mullen art right there. So far, the art is a 10 out of 10. I mean, just some great pieces. Nothing that has displeased me, really. A lot of things that have stand out that are just awesome. Love those bullet points. Love the layout. Again, this has got to be kind of a new standard. You know, if I'm making a OSR game, I rip this thing off. I use as much as the way that they're laid out. I might do something a little bit different here and there, but with this great font and the way that everything's listed and bullet pointed, it's the way to go. So I definitely think that's, you know, its claim to fame is obviously well warranted. Swords, tridents, maces, that OGL, index of magic items, that's very cool. And then some more rollings up, index of tables, always helpful as well. So there it is. There are the 4 books for the Old School Essentials Advanced Fantasy Advanced Expansion Set. I don't know if I put this back in the right way. I probably did not. Okay, there we go. Treasures at the end. And they've got a whole bunch of other smaller, I like their little hardback books. I'm not sure about their price point. Sometimes hardback books and only hardback books can get very expensive in some games. And it's made me actually stop or not pick up a game because all they have is hardback options. And maybe that's just me being cheap or whatever. But there it is, Old School Essentials, Classic Game Set, and the Advanced Expansion Set. So as of right now, I don't know which one. I think I would gravitate more towards these. Just because the presentation's so nice. Having those hardback books are great. You can pass those to someone else. Really, you're not going to be doing a whole bunch. A lot of those books are going to be for the DM. I mean, your treasures, your adventure, and your monsters, that's all going to be for the DM. The magic and the characters, like in this one, is going to be for the player. So, but it's going to be good because there's going to be maybe you only got one spellcaster at your table. You hand them that magic book, they're good to go. And maybe you've got the rules tome. So I can see that this is being a way to hand out books to your players when you need them. If they actually even look at books, which can be a rarity sometimes with your players. That's a video for another day. But strictly, I think if you like Old School Essentials, which I don't see anything in here that would really make somebody not like it. If they like Old School D&D, Curse You, Fighting Withdrawal, not being more clear, and I wish they would have done that in this book. That would be absolutely fantastic. I shouldn't, at this point, with what these games like this are trying to do, I don't feel like I need to go online to figure out the way a rule is supposed to work if it's not 100% clear. So that is an irritation, but this game isn't the only one that does it. There's other games too. I would just like to have seen this one have really come out and said, this is the way that Fighting Withdrawal works. So, awesome box sets. Let me know, like I said, which one do you prefer, Classic Game Set or Advanced Expansion Set, and which ones do you prefer, the Rules Tome or these, when you're actually playing the game. So there it is, Old School Essentials. This has been fun. I like doing this because, obviously, I don't need to really tell you that these are great games. I just wanted to see what it was like, let you experience what it's like for me just to flip through it and look through the art and see exactly what I think about it. So I hope this has been fun for you. Maybe I'll do this down the road, but it's probably going to be kind of normal reviews from here on out until something like this shows up where I can just not really have to tell you much of how it works or plays or anything, but just kind of go through it for the first time with y'all. So thank you very much for watching this. Please like, subscribe, share this anywhere you want. There's been, again, more people have been following the channel and subscribing, and I really appreciate that. The more people, the better. My schedule's pretty busy, but I've got a lot of more books coming in the queue for reviews, and the next one that I'm going to be doing is going to be quite different from this, that's for sure. So there it is. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.